Do this in sections. We're going to do waist to diaphragm line, pelvic to or heel to waistline, and back of the heel to the heel line. So for the toe, this area here, we push the toes back. For this area here, we pull the toes forward and push the foot out to the side. Because if we push back, this tendon becomes too tight and we can't get the reflexes, and it's too tender for the client for no good reason. So pull the foot laterally and towards you. So I'm going to start at the waistline and work up in straight lines. Now I'm mainly using the fingers of the left hand here for leverage. This is more just wrapping around the ankles for something for me to hold on to for support. Otherwise my fingers are all out of the way. But it is giving me some leverage. Again, you can do your dragging up in lines. I like to do that. I find that often hits the reflex, and then you can thumb walk after, and we've got it there. Right up to that diaphragm. Here we're working really the digestive organs. On the other foot we're working the stomach, pancreas, spleen. So here, then we're going to work from the heel line up to the waistline. You can drag as well. If you come across crystals, I find treating them in circles is useful, or treating them with dragging up through them. If it's tender, I find holding pressure on the point works best. You may have to lift your elbow up because their other foot might be in your way. But the most important thing is not to push the toes back here, because otherwise you'll hurt them at that tendon. Last bit here, we actually need to lift the foot right up. The most important thing to do here is when you lift the foot up, you're not lifting the knee off the support. Okay, so however you lift this up, just make sure the back of their knee is still on the support here. That's the only thing to check. Otherwise, you're leaving their legs suspended and putting too much pressure on the back of the knee. So lift it up high enough that you can get in under, but not too high that it comes off the back of the bed. And tuck your own elbow into your side there for support. And here, we don't need leverage because we have the leg as leverage. So we're just going to thumb walk. I like to hold at the ankle and then thumb walk all the way up the heel. And this is mainly the pelvic area. You remember from your charts the sciatic reflex runs along here. And particularly here, the skin is quite thick, so you need to go hard, and I find definitely the lines stripping up through the foot can really help. Sometimes I even like to get this part of my knuckle and because it's so thick, this area here. Some reflexologists, I've heard them say, oh, people are never tender around the heel. It's not that, it's just you need to get your pressure deep here because the skin is so thick. Now I can feel crystals, I can feel a little bit of tenderness in there, but I tend to find I can only get that with my thumb, this part of my thumb. So you do your thumb walking as normal, but then I'd recommend definitely going down like this, strips. Okay, so that's the whole plantar aspect of the foot. Two differences between diaphragm and shoulder line, you pull the toes back. Between diaphragm and pelvic line, you pull the toes forward and the foot goes lateral. And then for the heel line, you lift up, but make sure the back of the knee is on the support. Okay.